Welcome to Fulk It, Season 3, Episode 2, back with Tim. He's got a different hat on today, but
Yeah,
it looks like Hello Kitty. That's a cool hat.
yeah. I got it in Japan at the Super Mario World. It was raining all day,
Yeah.
and I don't want to be like a dork wearing like a poncho, like you know how they sell the ponchos. So it was raining. Everyone just bum rushed the gift shop because everyone needed to get like a poncho, umbrella, stuff like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
And I saw a bunch of people wearing the poncho, and they looked just dorky as hell. And then I saw this really tall girl, and she had this hat on. I'm like, oh, is
Uh,
this can work? So yeah, so I got it. It was great. It was like by the end of the day, it was soaked, but
when in Japan, that's what you do.
yeah, it's
Cool.
cute.
So let's see. We've got a few things we should probably hit on today, right? Like we talked last week because Conor brought us out of retirement to do the Folk It podcast. And that fight happened. Wild ending. So we should probably talk about that. There's some other things going on. We got a lot to talk about this season. We should start doing these 30-minute shows more, as much as we can. Just roll these things out. I just worked out, so I'm a little tired. I've been hitting that Instagram. I might talk some about working out too. Sort of I have a little bum knee, so I can share my bum knee experience. But anything else? What else? What else going on? Anything?
You gotta talk AI.
Oh yeah, we definitely got to roll some AI
You got
stuff in here.
you can't do a podcast with no AI reels.
I mean, you
You
can't
got
have a meeting at any corporate job in America without mentioning AI three times. Like, like the meeting could be about like how many chairs should we order, and you got to bring up AI. Like, can we get AI to order us some chairs? That's wild. Anyway, let's start with Conor. There's a fight tonight too. There's yeah, and I'll watch it, but I think it's Dricus Duplessis
oh, he's fighting
versus
again?
Usman, Kamaru Usman, which is somewhat of an interesting matchup because we saw DDP get absolutely wrestled into oblivion by Kamjat Chimaev, and then Chimaev promptly lost to Sean Strickland, but DDP Duplessis, he beat Strickland. So there's a weird circle going on in this division. And Kamaru Usman had a decent fight his last time out because he fought Kamjat. So this one is like a wrestle. Can DDP stop the wrestling to me? And I might watch it. I don't know.
Like I want to see Usman win again because in the end of the day, he's still a champion, and
Yeah.
he's like he defended his title multiple times, so there's some respect on that. And I always want to see like a fighter that can like go on undefeated for like 18, 20 fights and then lose a couple, but then get to redeem themselves.
Yeah. That's
Like
a good
if
point.
you don't redeem yourself, if you just like kind of have a run and then you don't redeem yourself, like Tony Ferguson, for example,
Yeah.
it's
Tony's
like
been on a bad run.
yeah, the story is not a good one. So I want Usman to win a little.
What do you think about? So I think Conor. I think he's 40 years old. He's close. He's older than Conor was. Conor just turned 38.
I think is he older?
I think he's got to be 40. I don't know for sure.
Yeah,
Should look that
because I
up.
think the steroid it puts like an extra 5 years on you. I think he
Yeah.
might be like 35 or something.
Maybe.
But the
He looks
steroid made
40.
him look like he's 40.
He definitely looks 40. He looks like, but Izzy, who's probably he's one of my favorites of all time. Has got to be Israel Adesanya.
Yeah.
He had a drop off,
Yeah,
but
he hasn't come back. Yeah.
I mean, to me, it's okay because he lost to Pereira. Came back and beat Pereira, and then he lost again the title to Sean Strickland, right? Was it who beat? Is no, no, it was it was Duplessis. Duplessis beat him, took the title. I think I'm getting all confused. This division has been a lot going on, but for sure he lost to. I remember he lost to DDP. Um,
Yeah.
that was kind of what put Duplessis on the map. That gave him the launching pad.
Yeah.
But to me, he's one of the all time greats, and nothing can take that away. I guess Usman is in the same boat, so sort of interesting. But let's jump to Conor because we already mentioned steroids. I've heard this week a bunch of people talking about the Conor injury, how it happened, what it might have done, um, what it might be caused from. Is he going to come back? All this stuff, and I still don't really care that much. But what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, it was disappointing to not see the fight. I don't know. Like whatever, like, oh, he was injured, not injured, and like remember how we talked about the contract, how he has two more fights? This counts, right? This counts
Yeah,
as
that counts.
well.
That counts.
So
He got one out of the way. He's got one more to go.
you know what I mean? It's like, oh, okay. So
Yeah, and we didn't learn anything. We
yeah,
also didn't like learn good or bad. So
yeah,
we're still in the as the viewer of the event. We're in the same boat. Um, I still think
yeah.
Connor has a long way to go to redeem himself, or if it's even possible. But he has a long way to go. It sort of annoyed me how they were promoting Connor without addressing those issues. Like it makes you think that UFC is kind of a dirty organization because they're just pushing Connor's name to sell tickets. They didn't even do that much promotion, but the journalists could have, you know, got some in hard hitting questions on Connor. And it was mostly just meh. Like, they're not very good journalists in the first place in MMA. The only people that talk about it are the ones that Dana doesn't like Hawani, um, some of the other ones out there that attract.
Yeah.
But so there are a couple of interesting things I heard. One, steroids. You brought that up. So is there a um, connection between the ACL tear and his steroid use after the leg break that was catastrophic?
A link. I mean, I don't know.
So I thought this one, I thought this one was possible, right? Because steroid abuse, let's just call it abuse. Like it wasn't totally medically necessary what he did. The anabolic steroids will, with going in the gym and doing exercises that are resistance training, grow your muscle, but your tendons not so much. So you end up having stronger muscles, bigger muscles, and the same strength tendons, or slightly improved tendon strength. So there's a mismatch. And we've seen this a lot of times back in the day in football, like NFL. There were a huge number of ACL tears for a long time in football. Just you grow so much muscle, you rip your tendons. In this case, there's also a couple of things I've heard about these ACL injuries they can be catastrophic. Like he went for a jumping switch kick, right? Like he was supposed to land on his right knee and throw the left high kick, but as it's from the southpaw stance. So it could be a catastrophic event where he just landed at the terrible angle, which looked like that. Could also be accumulation injury. So you can have a lot of mini tears in the tendons, small tears that come from like training. He said he was practicing that kick a lot. So maybe he was misstepping in practice as well. So the ligament was partially torn with small tears and it didn't have time to heal. Could also be the steroid contributed. It could just be all of these things that at once. We don't know. Um,
Yeah, I remember when remember he first time he fought Max and he was like, "Oh, like
he tore, yeah,
I
he
blew
tore.
my leg out like halfway through the fight." But at those time, like we didn't even notice it. You know what I mean? Like he say he tore, but we didn't notice it. This time he can't even stand. Just
Yeah, that was like
like
a
when he
complete
got
tear.
back up, he was wobbly. Like
Yeah,
he was still like on the first fight, he was still kind of on top of Max and doing all sorts of martial arts and shit. This this time he was just on his back, like
yeah, he won with the ground game. It started, I think, in the second round, if I remember that fight. Like he must have
yeah,
done something to his ACL in the first round, and then in the second round he came out and he just was able to take him to the ground, Max to the ground and control him.
yeah.
But I don't know, would have gone that way this time. What do you think about the next? What should he do next?
I mean, he just need a fight. Like whoever it is like in the end of the day, like you said, like we didn't see anything great, we didn't see anything bad. It was like an injury, and in the end of the day, it's not like he didn't want to fight. He couldn't stand. So it doesn't change. Let's say he said, okay, everything is healed. I got a titanium, like nanobot new ligament. I was like, like now he's fucking like, okay, he can go. He got some stem cell in Mexico and all that, and just go
Yeah,
with Joe Rogan and they'll talk about how they got stem cell and completely repair ligaments. It was like, yes, and then I mean, I'll watch it again. Then after that, then he can be like, oh, I don't need my legs anymore. I don't need to do kicks. I'm gonna go boxing because my leg is torn. I'm gonna go boxing,
yeah.
get the rider season money.
That's probably still his best move. I mean, it's going to be
Yeah,
a year. Like, I mean, it doesn't really cost him that much if his plan is to go box because he tears the ACL now. It's 9 month recovery. It's a year before he actually could conceivably fight again, like on a good timetable, on a 28-year-old Conor's knee tear. You're not fighting again for a year realistically. So
mm,
it puts him next July back on a big card in the UFC. He could rerun it with Max, and then he's out of the contract. So
mm,
why not? I mean,
yeah,
he probably would have done that anyway. He probably would have taken 9 months off after
right.
a bad loss.
Yeah,
So, and it doesn't really cost him that much. The biggest problem to me, though, is Conor's image was really damaged, right? And he used to have the Irish, remember the Irish crowds? I mean, that was what got people into watching Conor was the crowd was chanting and they were on the street. He had Sinead O'Connor give him the opening, like entry song one time. And I don't think he's got that crowd support. And that was the only thing I noticed was it wasn't, he's probably got people hoping he makes a comeback. But after that civil rape trial and we heard the details, he doesn't have, and who knows what else he did, while he was out there kind of making trouble.
yeah. I mean, I have a hot take on it. I mean,
Yeah.
who cares? Like like the social presence now versus when Conor was fighting, what, like 7 years ago, completely changed. Like how, I mean, you look at Jake Paul, look at the fan he got, look at the people that show up to see him fight.
Yeah.
He's he's fighting in stadiums,
Yeah.
right? And people supposedly hate him.
Yeah. I mean, you're right. This is a whole other kind of side discussion about what happened to MMA fans and where they're at and boxing
Yeah.
fans in general. But yeah, like as a person, as a parent, like I would hope Connor goes on more than just the Jake Paul boxing tour. Like he's also a parent and has kids. And if he really is in recovery and he's really trying to, change things up, he's got to do some things that the kids remember when the kids grow up, they remember what dad was like. And I don't know if he will or not, but that's
Mm.
that's what I think.
Mm. Uh, yeah,
He
I
looks
hope
old
he
too. I mean, he looks older than me and you. Like you've got the good genes, but he looks that beard was kind of hiding a swollen face. It
yeah.
was beat up and scarred. Like he did not look good.
I mean, if you have like 5 years of Coke buffet, that's what you look like.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah, he did. He
like
looked bad.
you just have 5 years of just lines after lines every day. Just you wake up in the morning, you start with a line.
Yeah, yeah, he looked rough. So anyway, we'll see. We'll see what he does, and let's pivot off to that side conversation a little because I feel like the people who are younger than us, like we have this kind of we remember Conor when he was young and kind of an upstart and happy-go-lucky Irish guy who maybe was loud and maybe was obnoxious, but he wasn't this violent kind of drug addict person, an alcoholic. And now he is. Now he's a violent drug. Um, and it was also before he came on before the Russian influence. So before Dana kind of cozied up to the Russian fighters, and before Andrew Tate was big on the scene, and before Joe Rogan was like the manosphere himself, and the whole culture around UFC has really gone toxic. Like it was always a little bit heavy in testosterone. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, we like to do things that are heavy testosterone sometimes. That's kind of like ride motorcycles, go to the gym, fighting. It's all heavy testosterone, poker, cigars. But it turned like very negative after a while. And it sours, I know it sours anybody who's not a fan. Like, it sours you on, do you even want to watch this event? And then after the toxic Andrew Tate kind of appeal to young guy thing that him and Rogan and the others did, then we got the Trump pivot. Then we got Dana's buddy with Trump. And Trump is coming to the events and it's partisan on top of toxic. So I don't know what their long term business strategy is, but this doesn't seem like a good one to me.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I agree with you because when when I when I went to a show back then, like we're talking Nina Nunez versus uh like the show that girl with the
Holly
gun
Holmes.
tattoo. No, the girl with the gun tattoo on her back.
Oh yeah, yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Like when they had that fight at Vegas, I remember I go to the live shows and I didn't see when I went to that show, that was fun. Then recently I went to a Seattle show
Hmm,
and I saw like Dana White walk out and people rush to Dana White to shake his hand.
hmm,
Like
yeah,
I did not see that before. Before it was just like, okay, yeah, Dana White, but people are not, hey, Dana White, let me shake your hand. Like, when did he become
the
the
star,
star of UFC?
right? Yeah, he's the star of the show. And he did it on purpose, is what I see. I mean,
Yeah,
the guy's got a ton of money. He doesn't need to be the star of the show, but
yeah,
he elevated himself above the fighters.
yeah, exactly. Right? Like, so then he started doing truck commercials. You see
Yep,
that?
yep.
Like, who the fuck is he doing?
Dodge Ram, trying to sell us like American men Dodge trucks. Like,
Yeah, like how did he become the spokesperson of a tough guy? when your whole
Whole
how
life he
they
was a cardio kickboxer at Gold's Gym.
like, that's what I don't get. Like, I don't get this whole
He just steroided himself up. He started lifting all those
yeah,
years. I mean, it just comes along with that image of
yeah. Like, how is like it's okay to pay fighters dirt cheap to fight, and that's like something to look up to. Yeah, you're my employee. I should pay you as least as possible. Yes. Yes. Good idea. Let me shake your hand. This is the American way.
yeah.
Pay as low as legally possible without getting sued by a big group of people. It's okay to get sued by one or two people, but not a class action lawsuit on you. That's no good.
They must have really good lawyers, but I mean, I see it as a short. It's another short-term strategy. Like the NFL has been in it for since the '60s, right? NFL is like 90, 80 to 90 years old, something like that. MLB baseball goes back over 100 years as an organization. NBA is well into the 50 plus 60 years. All of those organizations, they don't treat their athletes as contract workers, which I think the UFC still does, right? Like
Yeah, it's still
they finally
contract.
gave them some health care, which is crazy to me that you wouldn't give them health care because these guys are like, and women, men and women, these fighters are out there like they're physical. You take so much damage and training to even get to a fight. How can you not give them health care? And
No, the
then,
healthcare only applies when you get injured in the fight.
well, I mean, that's the thing is like they have to get. I think they offer them health care plans now, um, but it's it's not the same as what other organizations are doing for their athletes. Like we know they get a much smaller cut. Like, NFL gives out 50% of its revenue to the players. NBA gives out 60% of the revenue to the players. The billionaires are still doing fine. Like all the billionaire owners of those other leagues, they're still making money. They're still doing a-okay. Nobody's complaining. But UFC isn't doing that. They're doing what you said. They're doing the Dana strategy. Screw them over, give them as little as possible, and hire good attorneys. But like, let's just take some of the fighters and look at them because we see one, Dana will throw them to the wolves. Um, they're too young, but they've got a name brand associated with them. So like Chase Hooper, I think is fighting tonight. Chase had a kind of a good run early, then he got thrown to the wolves. That one guy was 18, who was Mexican fighter. He comes in, gets thrown to the wolves, and it's like you have to be buddy buddy with Dana to not get thrown to the wolves in some case. There have been other fighters who Dana didn't like, obviously, and did not get the consideration and didn't get to stay on. So you have to be like it's the matchmaking is dependent on whether Dana likes you. Dana screws everybody as much as he can and gives bonus money behind the scenes to the ones that he does like. This is not a professionally run organization at all. Like new fighters don't get things like, hey, whatever you do, don't start doing drugs and partying. Like an NBA athlete comes into the NBA and their first 6 weeks, they're getting lectures from people who retired from the NBA telling them, hey, man, look, whatever you do, don't gamble. Here's some pitfalls. Hey, man, look, here's a good thing to do to help you protect your brain. Now they have brain protection kind of seminars. They're giving seminars to early career people to help them down the path. They get media training. Like in a NFL, NBA, MLB, they give media training to their people so they don't say crazy stuff and get in trouble. UFC does none of that. UFC throws the early guy into the fire, lets them get their ass beat, injured, grudgingly gives them health care, and then the model is send somebody new in. I mean, it's not a good long term strategy. I have a hard time understanding what they're doing these days.
Yeah. I think also it's like people people who end up fighting for a living is not in the right mindset. You
Yeah,
know what I
no,
mean?
that's a big part of it, right? Like
Like
Sean
in
Strickland.
Japan, it's not like I mean this whole thing came about from jujitsu, right? So not the bare knuckle the bare knuckle bullshit they do back in like England. Like jujitsu people are like, oh, you're in the dojo, you living, you're drinking tea. It's like this is the way to do martial arts, right? And that was the same, man. Somehow
Yeah, it's all been lost. The martial arts
the
aspect
martial
of it
art
has
got
been
mixed
lost.
in with the fucking bar fighters in England, and they're like, okay, wait, now we mixed it.
Serious drug abuse. They're doing EPOs, steroids, growth hormones, peptides, they're buying stuff off the street, injecting it, hiding under the ring. Like, there is no aspect of this where you want your kid to go into. Like, hey, do you want to join a UFC gym, young child? No, no, these dudes are messed up. Don't send them to
Yeah.
these guys. Are you kidding me?
And
You
think
don't want
about
them to learn one lesson. You don't want your son to learn one lesson from anybody that's ever fought in the UFC. Not
like
one
I don't
lesson.
and it's not a martial art thing. Because think about like, hey, you go to karate. Karate is really well organized,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Jiu-jitsu, like Brazilian jiu-jitsu is a mixed bag, but jiu-jitsu is organized. You're talking about fencing. Fencing is a very classy sport. You talk about wrestling,
Yeah.
discipline. Fucking in school, you're wearing these uniform, you know, you exercise like you just do burpees. Like all that stuff is it's like a professional. So it's not like a fighting thing. Somehow UFC you get the drunks. Like
Yeah.
you look at
Yeah.
sumo wrestling. You know, they wear a uniform, they have rituals. Everything is like,
There's some there's some code of honor,
yeah,
ethics, moral foundation to the sport. Like there's some the sport is grounded in you learn something
like a way of
besides.
living, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. Right. And the UFC is just trash. They've attracted trash. They've promoted trash. They nonstop elevate trash to the highest levels. Not all fighters, obviously. I'm sure some of them are okay. Like, but
Yeah, I don't
I
get
don't
it.
want anybody going into a UFC gym that I know.
Yeah.
don't don't try it. It is like blood sport. There's no reason to learn a lesson in life from
Yeah.
somebody that did that. There just isn't.
Yeah.
So anyway, like their only lesson they're trying to teach you that I can tell is anger and violence is necessary in this world, and you must hurt other people.
Yeah.
Like, that's not a lesson you
Yeah.
teach people.
Like
Come
before
on.
you have like GSP, like and you know, like UFC wasn't like that. Like
Yeah,
GFP, like so well respected. Oh, you got Anderson Silva.
yeah,
Like
right.
those are the people leading the organization. And then you have like even with like when Kane, you know, like
Yeah, Cain Velasquez.
yeah,
Yeah,
like not like okay, he's from Mexico, full of tattoo, but not like oh like a brash personality,
no,
you know, like
yeah, and it's different now. Like,
even
part of it, I think, is
DC
the money.
Olympic wrestler, like all that, and then you have a John. You look at John Jones' standard compared to all the other people. He's like mild. He's mild compared to all these motherfuckers they're bringing up.
That's what I was gonna say. Is John Jones was like kind of chastised and had like issues, right? But now John Jones is like, just a blip on the radar. Nobody even mentions John Jones as like a bad guy or anything anymore because you're dealing with like off the chart levels of nonsense from other people. And like it just reminds me of how um, this stuff started, and it was like this. It was a barroom brawl, and a very, very few number of people wanted to watch it. Like I watched UFC one, and there weren't very good matchups. There wasn't good production value. It was interesting because styles made fights, and you hadn't seen certain styles fight like sumo. You hadn't seen them fight against a taekwondo guy, so it was sort of interesting. But it wasn't a sport,
Hmm.
and now it's not a sport anymore. And
Yeah.
the people involved are putting on a show.
Yeah.
Dana's the star. He's the star of the show.
Yeah. I mean, there was a time in the middle that, like, yes, it's always been like a thing you watch at a bar. That's how it started, right? Oh, cage fighting. So, but then you have another demographic who can actually pay $70 a pay-per-view to watch it on a TV. Like, and those people are not like those people got engineering jobs,
Yeah,
you watch,
right.
and then you watch it and those are people who are actually paying money to watch, oh, GSP, yes, I can relate to that person. Oh, Anderson Silva is like Bruce Lee. Like
Yeah,
we relate to that, we start paying a lot of money to bring that into another level. And then now you got the TikTok guys, the Jake Paul guys, like the who was that guy that was in jail from Croatia you were mentioning?
who was it?
Or, or who like the guy who got arrested and got stuck, like the streamer, whatever
Oh,
his.
right, right, right. Yeah, I forget that guy's name. Tate, Andrew Tate.
Yeah,
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 those,
yeah. Yeah,
yeah.
he's a
So you start getting
Romanian.
those guys on it, and then it's like, and then like, so now the engineering is like, okay, we're not gonna watch this no more.
Yeah, because low life dirtbags come through. Like you can tell who's a low life dirtbag. GSP was not a low life dirtbag. I mean, he was a great
Yeah,
fighter. He probably did steroids. He was a great athlete. He
yeah.
had some interesting things. But
Eloquent in the way he
yeah,
speaks.
I mean, GSP is not a low life dirtbag.
Yeah.
Anderson Silva, definitely not a low life dirtbag. I mean, the guy trained in martial arts for so long. It just his mastery showed through.
Yeah.
There's no mastery involved here anymore. There's
Yeah.
dudes going into gym getting staph infection, taking steroids, and gearing up for these shows they put on.
Yeah.
They
Like
stopped the testing. That's another thing. Like now it's easier
even
to
when Conor was even when Conor was getting up back then, Conor was getting up and wearing a suit. Like, oh, like I can buy a better suit now. Like they like like now now you look at like who's that UK guy who's coming up, like Patty.
oh
He's
Patty.
just like his stick is like, oh, after the fight, I'm just gonna get fat. Like that's his shtick. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but I see Patty seems to me like a good guy. He's he's not he's interesting because he's playing the game, the UFC game right now. But he's a good guy overall. He's got a couple of kids. He wants to get fat after the fights. Okay, get fat, man. That's fine. Nobody cares. But he's overall he's not terrible. Like he seems like he goes away. Another guy who does that is Sean, what's his name? O'Malley.
Yeah,
O'Malley kind of just goes off and does silly stuff on the Instagram and TikTok videos between
yeah,
fights.
yeah.
Like, good for you, man. Good for you, Sean O'Malley. That's okay. The dirtbag stuff though needs to stop. We're gonna run out of time. Let's
Yeah.
call it here, but maybe if we get lucky, we'll fire it back up on a different meeting.
Okay. All right. Okay. Talk to you later.
Peace.
Always fun.